So you're looking for more information on what the opportunity really is in selling final expense. In fact, you're more interested in what the numbers are beyond the exaltations of the recruiters out there that are telling you it's the greatest business ever. And what you're really looking for, bottom line, is what are the numbers behind selling final expense? And if that's the case, you found the right video. My name is David Duford, owner of the Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents across the nation to sell final expense and Medicare and annuities, whether you want to sell face-to-face or over the phone. So the purpose of this video is to give you some firm numbers and some good guidelines on what the true numbers are behind selling final expense. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter video than what I've done in the past regarding the same topic. So if you don't see it below in the links, I've got some more descriptive, longer-term videos that'll go even more granular than what I'm going to do now. So make sure that you reference those, because those do a good job of kind of going deeper into the mathematics of how you can make final expense a very lucrative business. So there's a couple of numbers here. I'm looking at my notes here that I want to hit on as being important. So what I would ask you to do is, if you're looking to, again, ascertain what the actual opportunity is of selling final expense, these numbers will give you a really good idea of what to expect out of the business. So the first one is the average case size. So what that's defined as is what the average amount of premium for the year your average case or policy is worth. And in the final expense business, it's somewhere in the range of $550 to $650 annual premium. Again, there's a range there, but I do know agents and work with agents with much higher premium levels. And there are some that have a little bit lower, although I would suspect that there's problems with the agent's ability to sell more value or ask for bigger numbers. So as long as your numbers are in that range, and for the sake of just calculating your expectations getting started, a number in that range is good. 600 is a perfectly fine number to strive for, and definitely is in the range of average. Another number you need to be concerned about is your average lead cost. So what do your leads cost per week? That's going to depend on whether you're part-time or full-time, of course, and what sort of leads you end up using, like Facebook leads, telemarketing leads, or direct mail leads, for example. What I have seen, or at least what I do with my agents, is if they come on board, the expectation I have for them is to invest somewhere between $400 a week to upwards of $800 a week as a new agent. So it will vary, of course, again, depending on the commitment level of the agent. But that's a good starting point. It certainly can be more than that down the line as you scale up and get better, but it usually doesn't start off that way, if that makes sense. So 400 to 800 a week, pretty good expectation. Appointment conversion rate. So this is defined as out of how many leads you do purchase, how many actually convert into appointments. And a good rule of thumb is, if you're using direct mail, I would want you to strive for a 40% to 50% appointment conversion rate. So if you get 20 leads, I'd want you to see maybe convert about 8 to maybe 10 of those into preset appointments over the phone. If you buy Facebook leads, they tend to be less persistent in setting appointments. What I had when I was running full-time running Facebook leads was around 25% to 30% would book into appointments. Why is that the case? Facebook leads are a little less receptive to picking up the phone. So again, why is this important? Because again, we're trying to strive at an average. How many leads does it take to get an appointment, right? And this will be kind of a good expectation of what to expect. Now, there is the other aspect of this is, what number of leads will you end up door knocking? And so what I teach agents, if you door knock, especially your direct mail leads, and set appointments, you should be at 50% or greater converted into appointments. And then for Facebook leads, it can vary, but you should be able to pick up a couple other extra appointments between your preset appointments, whether you work Facebook leads or direct mail or anything. App to lead conversion rate. So what this is a measure of is, out of the leads that you purchase, what can you expect to convert into sales? So again, this is going to vary based off of if you're a telesales agent or a face-to-face agent. If you're a face-to-face agent, my goal for direct mail leads is to convert 20 to 25% of those leads into sales. If you buy 20 leads, I want to see 4 to 5 sales. If I'm doing, say, Facebook leads face-to-face, I want to see about 15% of those converted, maybe 20%, 15% is good too, converted into sales. So out of 100 leads, I'd like 15 policies. Now, if you're over the phone, really don't do direct mail. Some people do and do very well, but most agents opt for a digital lead or a telemarketed lead or some sort of live transfer TV lead or something like that. And for a digital outbound approach, we want to close somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10%. It can be as low as 8%. It can be better than 10%, but around 10% is the goal. So out of 50 Facebook leads, close 4 or 5 policies. That's really good. And then for live transfers, ones that we have access to, our agents write about 30 to 40% of those into sales. So you get 10 live transfers, 3 or 4 convert to sales. What return on investment? Now this is actually the most important metric to manage, and it's basically the measure of how much money you get for every dollar of investment that you put into your business. And since most of our investment is based off of leads, that's the driving force behind this. And what we're looking at is, for me, and what I consider to be a good ROI ratio is 4 to 1. So if I have an agent that puts $1,000 in leads a week and returns $4,000 in revenue and nets $3,000 in commission, that's wonderful. That's definitely a 6-figure producer. So try to strive to get the 4 to 1. Even 3 to 1 is acceptable, but below 3 to 1, I worry that if the agent's working as hard as they can, if they need to brush up on their sales closing skills or possibly their activity. But a 4 to 1 is something that you can scale with, which we'll talk about in future videos, the importance of scaling and maximizing your income. But you need to have somewhere in that 3 to 1, that's more likely 4 to 1 range to make scaling very successful. So some thoughts behind these numbers, some last thoughts before we end this. Again, what are we not factoring in here in some of these numbers is what your commission level is. Commissions are going to have a big effect on what your overall take home is. For example, if your ROI is for every $1,000 in leads, you get back a $4,000 commission, or $4,000 commission. That can be dramatically skewed one way or the other if you start at a 60 or 70% commission like a lot of MLM carriers do, versus, say, like in my agency, brand new agents are at 100% to 110%. So if you do the math on that, each sale can mean the difference of hundreds of dollars in commission, which adds up to tens of thousands of dollars overall. So, make sure as you do your due diligence and looking in the final expense, compare and contrast the agencies and their commission levels. Commissions aren't everything, but they really do matter, especially when everything else is equivalent. You got great training opportunities, great development, great mentorship, but one pays 70%, the other pays 110% to start, or possibly even more. Hopefully it's clear the importance of maximizing your income through maximizing your commission levels. Also, the most important number, like I said, if there's any takeaway with this rough rundown of what number is the most important to manage, it's your return on investment. And that is the key, again, to scaling your business to the level to get the income that you want. What matters less to me, and I'll put it in contrast here, is, I mentioned conversion rates. A lot of people are obsessed with closing rate. I close 9 out of 10 appointments, or I close 4 out of 5, or for every 10 leads I buy, I close 3 applications. That's great, but the thing is it's your numbers are your numbers, and generally as you improve and you really do the best you can, it's going to be very hard to move from a 25% to a 30%, and likewise from 30 to 35% over a consistent basis. So your numbers become your numbers after you've really gone up the learning curve for the first 6 months. But then at that point, the goal really to make more money is to take your numbers and then scale them higher. And that's the secret. It's not how do I close to some newfound level. It's how do I do more activity and retain the same numbers and return on investment that I'm accustomed to. So I hope this gives you a quick rundown on what numbers matter the most. Again, this is just a laundry list of the numbers that matter most. Please watch the video that's listed probably above me to the side or in the description box for more context on how to put all this stuff together, especially if you're creating some kind of business plan and you're wanting to figure out, okay, what kind of activity do I need to do to produce some kind of results in income? And if you're interested in joining an agency that will coach and mentor you to become a top producer, have access to great quality leads as well as quality commission levels, then check out my agency. Go to daviddufour.com, click the FAQ link in the top, and that will give you more information on how my agency works, see if you're a good fit. Thank you so much for watching, and if you got any questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll be happy to help you, okay? Take care.